'Tis often in the smallest and most hidden of moments that the weight of eternity leans nearest to the human soul. There is a peculiar kind of silence in the unseen acts, the whispered prayer, the selfless gift, the temptation resisted when no one is watching. The world, being loud and impatient, never notices these things. It claps for performances and broadcasts victory as spectacle. But heaven moves for the quiet, trembling yes. It is that secret choice, the one you hardly thought mattered, that has set into motion a chain of divine arrangements of which you are only beginning to be aware. God has seen you, and not just the you that others applaud, but the one who mourned in the dark, who forgave when bitterness would have been easier, who gave when you had so little to offer. That version of you, the secret saint, the unrecognized disciple, has stirred the heart of God. Now, as it has always been in the great stories, help is being sent. Not in the way the world sends it, not wrapped in celebrity or flashing signs, but through a person of unusual substance, clothed in what might seem like ordinary circumstance. This is no mere helper. This is someone marked for you. Someone whose presence will confirm what your spirit already knows, but your mind has struggled to believe. We think divine partnerships should come with lightning and proclamations, but they often arrive like seeds, small, quiet, needing care. Do not be deceived by their humility. This person carries answers to prayers you've forgotten you prayed. They are not coming to rescue you. God alone is Savior. But they are coming to walk beside you, to sharpen you, to carry part of what you've carried alone for far too long. This is the helper fashioned for your calling, not just your comfort. And as if that weren't enough, a provision is coming too. A man of wealth, not merely in possessions, but in influence, wisdom, and readiness, is being positioned in your life. Not as a reward, as though God were bartering for behavior, but as a response to alignment. You did not earn this by performance. It was prepared for your purpose. God is strategic. When He sees you ready, not perfect, but yielded, He unlocks resources that have been held in waiting. The wealthy man is not a trophy, but a tool. Not the end of the story, but the means by which a bigger story unfolds. What matters now is not what you will do with the blessing, but who you will become in response to it. Still, all of this, the guide, the provision, the open doors, is not without urgency. Heaven's invitations do not linger indefinitely. The moments we are given are not endless, they are sacred and fleeting. There is a window now, not to rush you, but to awaken you. You must act before your spirit becomes numb from delay, before fear convinces you to stay where it is safe. The one who is sent will not force themselves upon you. The provision will not break down your door. These things, though divine, still require your agreement. Your yes is the final key in the lock, and the truth is, time is not your enemy, but it is not your servant either. If you ignore what has been sent, it may pass by, not out of punishment, but because you were never meant to stay stuck. So listen closely. Watch with eyes that see beyond the natural. That one thing you did in secret, it mattered. God saw it, and now the story shifts. There is something mysterious and immovable about the way heaven watches us. Not the version of us we craft for others, not the curated personality, the polished devotion, or the public discipline, but the hidden self, the version of you that nobody claps for, the one who knelt down to pray when no answer seemed near, the one who gave quietly, served unnoticed, obeyed God when it cost you more than it gained you. In that moment, you weren't trying to prove anything. You didn't realize heaven had leaned in, but it did, and it saw. That one secret act, that one choice of faith in the shadows, echoed louder in the courts of God than 1,000 public gestures ever could. What you did may not have shifted the world's view of you, but it shifted heaven's response toward you. And now, the result of that sacred, secret moment is rippling through time toward your present life. The world calls it coincidence. Heaven calls it orchestration. You didn't feel the ground shake, but a door began to open. A person is coming sent, not simply arriving. This is someone whose presence will not flatter your ego, but will stir your spirit. They carry a quiet authority, the kind that confirms what God already told you in your wilderness season. You may not even recognize them at first, because heaven's messengers don't always wear what we expect, but there will be signs. Not outward beauty, though they may have it, not charming words, though they may speak well. What marks this person is their alignment. They fit your call the way a key fits a lock. They aren't your rescue, they are your mirror and your match. They won't compete with your purpose, they will compel it forward. They've been prepared by their own journey of silence, just as you were, and when your paths cross, the timing will not be accidental, it will be appointed. God rarely sends people into our lives to entertain us. He sends them to awaken something. Something asleep, something weary, something holy. You've prayed for companionship, but this is more than companionship. This is partnership, the kind that builds rather than drains. The kind that doesn't need to impress you because it carries divine assignment. It's not about romance, though it may include love. It's about kingdom alignment. And if you are discerning, you will see it. Not with your eyes first, but with your spirit. But this is only part of what heaven is doing. Alongside the person, there is provision. A wealthy man is being stirred, not because he saw your need, but because God saw your readiness. Wealth in the kingdom is not a medal for the holy, it is a mission resource. This man may not speak in spiritual phrases or move in church circles, but he has been positioned to release what is needed for the next phase of your assignment. He is not coming to save you, he is coming to support what heaven has already initiated through you. What will matter in that moment is not how impressive the blessing appears, but how faithful you remain when it arrives. Many people are faithful in famine, few are faithful in abundance. God is testing not only your endurance in the dark, but your stewardship in the light. None of this is eternal if you wait too long. The person, the provision, the door, all of it is a divine invitation, not a permanent fixture. You must choose, you must recognize. Heaven moves for the unseen choice. Now you must move in response to what heaven has sent. It is a strange and holy thing that God does not measure greatness by what is seen, but by what is surrendered. The act that drew his attention was not broadcasted, not announced, not even shared with a friend. It was quiet, almost forgettable by human standards. A simple act of obedience, of restraint, of faith performed when no one was watching. And yet, in that moment, heaven took note, not in passing, but with intent. For God watches not like a distant observer, but like a craftsman studying the heart. That one decision, done in secret, unseen by man, marked a turning point in the invisible realm. Where others saw nothing change, heaven saw a door open. When you chose righteousness in the dark, you aligned yourself with something far larger than you knew. You weren't buying a blessing, you were saying yes to a blueprint. Because of that yes, someone is being sent. Not just a person, but a presence, a guide, a partner. Someone whose life is tuned to the same frequency as your calling. This isn't about sentimentality, it's about timing, it's about destiny. This person will not complete you, that is not their task, but they will complement what God is building in you. You'll recognize them not by external signs, but by the way they echo truths God has already whispered to you in solitude. They will not pull you away from your purpose. They will walk alongside it, reinforcing it. They will not worship your potential, but they will honor your process. In them you will find not a fixer, but a fellow laborer. They are not coming to take the weight from your hands, but to steady your arms in the battle. This person may come in unexpected form. God delights in disrupting our categories. They may not fit the mold you imagined, but your spirit will know. There will be peace, not performance. Clarity, not confusion. The way they speak, the way they listen, the way they remain, all of it will affirm that this connection is not born of coincidence, but calling. Do not measure them by surface. Heaven's messengers often come wrapped in the order. Remember, God does not send partners for pleasure alone, but for purpose. You have cried out for companionship, but God is answering with covenant. Be ready to receive it, not with suspicion or fear, but with the same quiet faith you showed in that secret act. Yet even as the person is sent, something else is being stirred: provision. Specifically, a man of wealth, not merely financial abundance, but strategic positioning. Someone who holds what you need to step into the next phase of your assignment. He is not coming because you begged. He is coming because God is orchestrating. Your hidden obedience has moved resources into motion. The wealthy man has been prepared, not to admire your journey, but to invest in it. Do not be intimidated by what he carries. You were not chosen because of him, but he was chosen because of what is in you. This is not a gift for your comfort, it is a supply for your mission. God funds what aligns with his heart, and he is placing that funding in your path. And yet all of this comes with a divine urgency. The person, the provision, the door, they are not eternal invitations, they are windows. Open now, but not forever. God is not threatening you, but he is warning you. Do not delay. The longer you hesitate, the quieter your discernment becomes. What you do with what is being sent will shape what comes next. There is a sacred timing in all of this, and you must act while the wind of the Spirit is blowing in your favor. The story is shifting. The moment is here. Heaven has moved. Now it is your turn. There is a kind of obedience that heaven cannot ignore. It is not the loud kind, not the sort that earns applause or is spoken of in sermons. It is the kind that costs you something, quietly. The kind that asks you to choose what is right when no one will ever know you chose it. That kind of obedience is not transactional, it is transformational. You didn't do it to be seen, and yet God saw it. Not just as a moment of integrity, but as a seed in that unseen space where you resisted pride, surrendered your will, or extended forgiveness with no reward. Something eternal was set in motion. It is a mystery of the kingdom that what is done in secret before God is answered in public by his hand. You may have forgotten that moment, but heaven didn't. It marked you, and now the harvest of that moment is approaching. What comes next may seem sudden, but it is not. God has been preparing someone, a person who is not sent to decorate your life, but to develop it. They are not arriving because you need rescuing, but because you are being entrusted. This person carries a divine assignment, just like you. Their path, though different from yours, has been carved by the same hand. They are coming into your life not to compete with your identity, but to call it forth. They will not make you feel smaller. True partnerships never do. Instead, they will help you remember who you were when the world made you forget. There will be harmony, not just in goals or values, but in spirit. Their presence will clarify your vision, not complicate your peace. They will not complete your story, but they will walk with you as God writes the next chapter. This individual will feel both familiar and new. They will stir something ancient in your soul, the recognition that this was always meant to be. And yet, they will also challenge you, not with criticism but with presence. They are not here to replace your solitude, but to honor it, to join it, to build alongside it. Don't look for perfection, look for purpose. Don't search for someone who checks every earthly box. Listen for the echo of heaven in their voice, their posture, their peace. This is not the partner of your fantasy. This is the partner of your assignment. And when they come, you will not feel pressured to perform. You will feel invited to become. But the person is only part of what God is releasing. There is also provision on the move, and not just any provision. A man of wealth has been positioned by divine timing to step into your story. He does not know all the details of your journey, but God has stirred something in his heart. It may be business, investment, opportunity, or partnership. But whatever form it takes, it will be clear that he was not sent by man's strategy, but by God's instruction. This is not about dependence on him. It's about the confirmation that when God gives vision, he also gives supply. You are not being rewarded, you are being equipped. The resources coming are not random, they are precise, aligned, and time-sensitive. They are not for indulgence, they are for impact. What matters most is not that you receive them, but that you steward them with reverence. Do not let false humility reject what God is trying to release. And yet, all of this, the person, the provision, the promise, is wrapped in a sacred urgency. The window is open now, but it will not remain open forever. God's gifts are invitations, not impositions. They come with grace, but also with timing. Delay is not always disobedience, but it can become it if you let fear speak louder than faith. What you sensed in your spirit, that something is shifting, that someone is coming, that provision is near, you were right. But sensing is not the same as seizing. You must move, you must respond. You must prepare your heart, your hands, and your house. Heaven is moving, so must you. There is a holy weight to the moments we think no one notices. The world measures greatness by visibility, but heaven measures it by surrender. That one act you did in secret, when no one clapped, no one affirmed, and no reward followed, was seen, not by men but by God. It wasn't grand by human standards, but it echoed in eternity. You didn't do it to get something, you did it because it was right, because you feared God more than you feared missing out, because you loved Him more than your own comfort. That hidden decision became a turning point in the invisible realms. While others moved by ambition, you moved by conviction. That moment did not simply please God. It activated something. Not a transaction, but a release. What you did in secret has opened a door that no man can shut. The seed you buried in silence is about to speak through the fruit it produces. Heaven is now sending a person, not by accident, and not simply for companionship, but because your purpose requires partnership. This individual is not arriving to complete your life, they are arriving to confirm your assignment. Their presence will not distract you from your calling, it will deepen it. They will not be drawn to your image, but to your identity. You won't need to explain the fire in you, they will carry their own. This is someone who has walked through their own wilderness and understands that holy things are often birthed in silence. You will know them not by how loud they are, but by how steady they are. They bring alignment, not attachment, peace, not pressure, purpose, not performance. Their arrival is not the beginning of your story, it is the next chapter God has already written. And it will feel not rushed or romanticized, but right. This connection will be different from anything you've known before. Where past relationships may have drained or derailed you, this one will strengthen you. Where others may have competed with your calling, this one will carry it with you. You will notice that your prayer life deepens, not dims. Your vision expands, not diminishes. This is not someone who fills a gap in your emotion. You will be able to stand still around them, to be seen, not just supported. To dream again without apology. The two of you together will carry something too big for one set of hands. This is the kind of union that God builds, not for status, but for significance. Not for control, but for co-laboring. And though it may come gently, do not mistake that for weakness. What is born of heaven always arrives with quiet strength. Simultaneously, something else is being moved into position, a man of wealth, prepared by God to intersect your life at precisely the right moment. This is not prosperity in the worldly sense. This is provision with purpose. God has seen your faithfulness with little, and now He entrusts you with more, not for your consumption but for your commission. The wealthy man is not being drawn to your charm, but to your calling. He carries what you need to build what God has placed in your heart. His presence is not to elevate you socially, but to empower you spiritually. This is not generosity born of guilt, it is stewardship born of obedience. Do not shrink back when this door opens. Do not question if you are worthy. You are not being rewarded, you are being positioned. What is coming into your hands is for nations, not just for need. You must treat it accordingly. But even with such promises, there remains a divine urgency. Heaven's timing is not endless. The person being sent, the provision being released, the pathway being revealed, all of it hinges on your response. What began with a quiet yes must be followed with courageous action. You cannot afford to delay when God is moving. The longer you hesitate, the quieter the prompting becomes. There is a window now. It will not stay open forever. This is not to alarm you, but to awaken you. The story is shifting, the page is turning, and the next lines have been written in obedience and promise. Heaven has done its part. Now it is your turn.